What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Daily Battle. Today we're speaking with Gray Butler, owner of menswear store Park and Province. We're talking on the business of fashion, work-life balance, sobriety, and managing change. Enjoy the show.
It's the Daily Battle Podcast.
Let's get it.
All right, welcome back to the Daily Battle. We have good friend and entrepreneur and best dad in the world, Mr. Gray Butler, with us. Thank you for being here, sir.
Of course.
Appreciate you piloting this with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Gray is co-owner of Park and Province on Queen Street, and it's always been a shop that Connor and myself have gone into, and I've spent way too much money there and love everything about it. But one of the things that's really cool about that is that you're two things that I want to talk to you about is one, the business relationship that you have with your business partner, Chris, which seems to work really, really well. And then the other thing is really just talk about the fashion side of things. So give us a little bit of background on the store, how it started and how you got into it.
If we rewind all the way back to the beginning, I was coming out of school and looking for a job. Guy I knew from school kind of hooked me up with this very entry-level retail position at a place called Oliver Spencer, which is still around as a brand, but not around as a store anymore on Queen Street. So I started working there, kind of climbing my way up a little bit, like just very slowly, kind of entry-level floor position kind of thing. I met who would later become my business partner at that location. So we worked there together for, maybe like 3 or 4 years. I kind of bopped around to a couple other different retail stores, just gaining more experience. And he kind of remained there, and he was also had a hand in fashion and beauty photography. So he was, a pretty well-established photographer at the time already. So just after gaining enough experience working at other locations and other retail places, I went back to him years later and said, do you think that this is something that we could do together on our own? And he jumped at the idea. So we kind of just started putting the pieces together very slowly. And eventually, things kind of turned into something. But it was a very slow, organic process. It didn't happen super quickly. And it started with just a website. So no retail location.
Yeah, so from web to the brick and mortar entity that it is now is pretty incredible.
Yeah, very long process to get to where we are now. These things don't happen quickly. So it's just sort of have to take it one step at a time and learn as you go, right?
Yeah. Well, and in the mix of that, you're also starting a family at the same time.
Yes.
Did you find that tricky?
For sure, yeah. I can't remember who it was that I heard say this, but there's like an analogy of like, the people, the acrobats that can like spin plates on stilts.
Yeah.
So it's like I found that just like over the years of entrepreneurship and business and family life and everything else, it's like you have 3 or 4 plates spinning on these stilts, and the real magic trick is just to see like, can you spin the family one? Can you spin the work one and then keep that going? And then can you spin the fitness one and keep that going? And can you fucking keep all the plates spinning at the same time without losing your mind? And, I think the most pivotal one is like the work one. Because if that comes off the wheels, everything else goes to shit. So that's probably the one thing that I've kind of like learned over the last 5 years, 6 years, especially as you say with the introduction to the family plate that I gotta
for sure
spin as well. It's tough.
I have a question on that. I've heard a few different people who have had recently had kids, and they talk about once a child comes into the picture, like how their sort of flow or dedication to work like shifts. I'd be curious to hear, like, as an entrepreneur, like what's the difference? Like, you have a kid comes into the world, new soul. Did it change things immediately? What was that like?
I've heard a couple different perspectives on this, and my own is a little bit different. My perspective on it is that it didn't change everything for me immediately. It was kind of a bit of a slow process, but it started to shift my thoughts a little bit. I've heard people say both things. I've heard people say that, family first always, and then work is going to come after. And that can kind of like shift their focus sometimes away from work a little bit and more into the family dynamics. And I've also heard people say like, oh no, now I'm grinding harder than ever because now I have to pay for XYZ. We need clothes, we need school, we need shoes, we need lunch, we need I've literally have another mouth to feed, so I'm going to go harder.
Yeah.
So I've heard people with both sides of the perspective. Mine personal one kind of lies somewhere in between. I remember talking to my old man about this, and he was just like, my perspective on it, for better or worse, was always work always comes first. Because again, what we kind of talked about before is just like if that like comes off the wheels, if the wheels come off on that, then like the family life is going to go too. So he's like, I always had the work first mentality. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that was his perspective on it. Talked to him about that recently because he's also kind of entrepreneurial and just worked for himself forever. But like I say, my take on that is kind of in between. I think there's a healthy balance where you can kind of like really focus on work and make it hopefully make it big so that your family can do okay as well. But it does push certain things kind of back a little bit, whether you want it to or not. It just kind of happens.
It definitely helps too to have like a partner that is on the same page. Like Danielle and you guys seem like superheroes when I talk to you about like your schedule and how you plan stuff and how you plan on doing certain things with Winnie and stuff like that, because it's like you have this ability just to like, even for today coming here, I'm like, hey, are you off this night? Is this cool? Like, do you have to plan anything? You're like, yeah, I got that night off. It's all good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So like you guys really work as a team, which is cool to see.
For sure. Yeah. As soon as we have another person in the mix, it's like everything has to be planned out a few days in advance, at least like Sunday night planning now is like I have to do it, dude. Like every Sunday night we plan out the workouts for the week, we plan out like what we're doing, where we're going, and it's just like without that I'm kind of lost, and like things can't pop up super organically. Luckily this worked, it's just having a little bit more foresight, I think, at this point in my life, just to kind of plan things out so that it doesn't get lost,
Yeah, I can imagine a child in the mix too. There's fixed schedule stuff that's needed there.
Totally, dude. Fixed schedule stuff, man. Stuff you can't really mess with too much.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the partner, and I know a few different like entrepreneurial journeys in the room, but just having someone who is willing to ride with you through like the highs and the lows of being a business owner. I'm sure it relates to parenthood the same way, but man, yeah, you need a rock.
It's tough, dude. And luckily for me, like my wife's super supportive in like so many different ways, but she is kind of the opposite in me in terms of just like she works for like a pretty large like San Francisco based tech company.
Okay.
And so it's like, it would be tough to have like two entrepreneurial kind of things in the house where we're both just like self-employed. Like luckily we have the stability of her job, and then we kind of allows me to kind of like go out on my own and kind of do my own thing. But you're right, we have to kind of balance each other out and bail each other out constantly. It's a constant teamwork, like nonstop.
Yeah.
And especially when you're doing things like Fashion Week and stuff like that, which I think, to give a little background, when I was starting my agency up, you were nice enough to come to New York Fashion Week with me and introduce me to people and talk to different brands and stuff like that. So I'll be forever thankful for that. But when you go to Fashion Week now to pick, like to scout brands, to look at brands, like is there anything that you obviously have your appointments that are set up, you have your staple brands that are in the store. What are you doing as a curator of really fashion brands in the store when you go to Paris? Are you looking for specific things, or like what is it that kind of cues your lens for brands?
Yeah, we do usually approach each season with a few things in mind, things that we're looking for. Chris, my business partner, he has a really incredible ability to sort of like hone in on things before they kind of blow up. So that has given us a bit of a competitive advantage in the past, and he's a really, really good buyer. I have a lot of the sort of like skills I feel like for like kind of like admin and an organization and stuff like that. And I do have a little bit of, a creative ability, but for me to lean on him rather, for a lot of the creative stuff and just like the buying is huge. So he will usually have kind of queued up for us a few different categories that kind of need to be filled before we go into these buying trips. And he's able to sort of like just nail that. Okay, this is what we need. This is the sort of overall aesthetic that we kind of are going for. And we're usually able to fill those pieces because we know what we're looking for. You don't just kind of wander into these things kind of like, oh, that's nice. It's like, that can happen too, but it's you have to kind of go in. It's like anything else. You have to just be intentional. It's like just being intentional with everything.
I want to act stupid here for a second. Well, I'm gonna play stupid here. But like, so when you're saying this, you're a retailer here. You're going to New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, looking for brands that are ahead of the trend or so forth, so that you can bring them into the market here.
To the store.
That's correct. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. To just kind of distill it down, essentially that. Yeah.
Cool. So sorry.
So where we're in line is that he's the retailer, I'm the sales agent. So I would actually represent those brands from Paris. So what my goal for my agency is to pick up brands from Paris and New York and wherever those brands are and represent them in Canada, to whether it's with certain brands like Screen Test to actually introduce it to the market, or with Saucony just expand and spread the message and marketing of the brand itself.
Are you guys like attending shows?
The retailers would attend like a private showroom or a show.
Okay.
We host them. So that's the fun part about when we went to New York together, it was fun because we went to a show called Welcome Edition, met all the crew out there. Gray was nice enough to introduce me to everybody, which again, I'm so grateful for. But what was really interesting as the agent side is you learn how these brands want to expand into Canada, because a lot of them haven't yet. The benefit of that as well is when he goes, and you can give a little bit more perspective on this, is that if he's the first account in Ontario, he now is a monopoly, right? So he can have exclusivity to whatever that brand might be, brand X.
Cool.
Right? So like when you guys just brought in Frismworks and or the new line from Frismworks, and I think I was in your store within 10 hours trying on every pair of pants.
Yeah.
Because it's unique, and it's one of, a handful of stores that have it. And I will say this is that like Park and Province has always really curated their assortment for a little bit of something for everybody, but it all falls under the same umbrella, which is really unique because I wear my stuff a little bit more street. He wears his stuff a little bit more contemporary, but we can wear the same shit.
Yeah.
Which is really, really unique. And so, and I think when you're curating, because you guys do it the same, and we just did this with your shoe buy, is like, I think the challenge that you guys have is you have to see what's coming down the pipe. Like you almost got to play a little bit of roulette, right?
For sure. Yeah. Playing roulette is a great way to put it, because, you can roll the dice on something that looks great now, but like the nice thing is we don't really play in the arena of like super quick, like trendy stuff. So not to say that we don't carry things that, hit on certain notes for trends, but like we're never going to hit like a flash trend that's like here and today, gone tomorrow. Yeah. So like that, we take some of the risk out of that with our buys. Sorry?
No Labubu.
No, not yet. Not yet. Who knows? No, definitely not. So yeah, it does take some of the risk out there, because it not like, I know the word timeless gets thrown around way too much with men's clothing, but like we do kind of try to focus on a little bit more of that sort of.
Yeah, it's like high-end garment, the pieces that you'll have forever. Right?
Yeah, dude, like for sure.
Very classy.
Yeah,
like, it's a store that I would send somebody with really good fashion taste, somebody that's a little bit more fashion forward, but then a guy like us that could be a little bit more streetwear.
Yeah.
And you can add your own little flair to it.
For sure. Yeah, that you can approach it any number of different ways, and it works for a pretty wide gamut of people, for sure.
It's cool to see now just like how the walls of style, it's just, there's such a blend all over the place between like streetwear, hip hop, and then even like upscale. You can dress a vintage t-shirt with a blazer now, and it's like it works. Like it's one thing that I love about modern fashion, and seeing certain things come back, like workwear and things. But I do love that, just like that high-low thing, where it's like you could mix a thrifted tee with like a very nice pair of pants, and it's seen as fine. Whereas like I feel like in the early 2000s, even there was like specific styles you had to adhere to or something.
Sure.
Yeah, which is also funny because now everyone's dressing like the early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, the 90s resurgence is
crazy.
It's shocking to me.
Crazy.
Dude, the balloon pants that are at his store
Yeah.
are so fresh.
Well, loose pants are. It's
I
the
love
thing
it.
now. It's small shirts. I feel like we switched it where it was like it was tight pants and like a looser tee and now it's like tight crop tees and massive.
We got to go as big as we can go with the pants.
What's cool is that you're seeing a lot of Canadian talent do it. Like I just picked up a pair and I sent you to the East Studio Nixon.
Oh yeah.
Pop up and you went down in Montreal
Beautiful
and
stuff.
I picked up a pair of their pants, and shout outs to them because like quality, price, everything's banging, and they're Montreal based, and so it's cool because when you start seeing local enterprises start making these garments, you're like, oh, we're actually in the mix. And it's kind of neat because there is some guys that are in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver that are all creators and doing these things. And so what's fun about it is not only do I see it as an agent, I see it on the retail side with you as well, and then I see it on the brand side of guys that are coming out of Toronto, Montreal, and I'm like, wow, like this is we have it. It just sucks that we're like a little bit behind New York, which is a little bit behind Europe.
Who are the big players in Canadian made garment?
Canadian made?
Yeah.
There's a handful. I mean, right now, it depends, like, I guess what realm you're looking at. In the sort of like, I guess, world of that we exist in, and it kind of parallel to us, I suppose. One brand that's doing it really well is just like the Haven House brand.
Okay.
It's like amazing stuff. I mean, that being said, a lot of it is, I don't know if it's all made in, it's Canadian design and Canadian kind of focus, but it's like a lot of it's made in Japan, so I just suppose that doesn't quite qualify.
Okay, so maybe the distinction there is important. I said Canadian made, but East Studio Nixon, they're designing here and then manufacturing.
I don't know where they're manufactured. I'd have to check a label, but
Curious to
I
know.
think they're pretty, like their denim is very high end, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some Japanese.
I can imagine it's probably so to like get textile here, manufacture here. It's got to be so expensive.
It has to be, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say one other thing that jumped to mind is do you guys know Mateo's got a guy named Mateo? He has a shop called Outclass
So
over
good.
in Roncesvalles,
Okay.
and he's a great guy. And his like focus is just like, I'm gonna make as much of my stuff in not only Canada but in Toronto as I can.
It's a
I
cut
think-
and sew type thing?
Yeah. No, it's a full
Beautiful
line.
garments.
So he does like 2 collections a year, like proper like fall, winter, spring, summer. And you know, I have looked at it in the past. It's just proximity wise, there's a lot of stores that carry it in Toronto, but you know, his stuff is amazing, like really, really beautiful. And it's as far as I know, mostly made. I think he's got a couple pieces of footwear that are made in Italy.
Yeah.
But yeah, great stuff. Sorry, that just jumped to mind.
Mateo?
Yeah.
What's
Outclass?
Outclass?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
There's I mean, it's funny because believe it or not, there's a lot of like in the garment district, whether it's in Scarborough or wherever, like we have a lot of, it might be blanks, it might be cut and sew, it might be whatever. There's a lot of stuff in our proximity that's all locally made. Like the t-shirts that I had for the collective before it turned into the agency were all made in Scarborough.
Yeah.
You know, House of Blanks who provided
Dude, I'm pretty sure Supreme.
They were doing House of Blanks. Yeah. for a
Yeah,
while.
House of
House of
Blanks.
Blanks was doing them. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, remember some fall off a truck action.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's got a Supreme tee that they.
I think the cool thing with that is then you start seeing guys like Rob doing all the embroidery for all these huge brands that when I first went into his, so that hat that you're wearing was him. He did all the embroidery on those New Era hats. And it was cool because he's like, oh yeah, like Supreme's down there and this is down there and that's down there. And I'm like, holy shit. Like we actually have a lot of stuff that's made locally. You just don't know it, you know? And so I think that exposing, and that's where this conversation is great, is like really just having people understand, like there is garments that are constructed in Canada that are very, very good.
Yeah.
For sure,
So-
man. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just have to seek it out, right?
And it takes a little bit of research.
Takes a little bit of research, but like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to another one that jumps to mind is Kyle's spot, Bather over
Yeah.
on
Dude,
Dauphin.
I literally have an order that I'm waiting to go pick up there.
It's great, man.
Man, those suits fit perfect.
They're perfect.
It's
They're
perfect.
And he's got a whole cut and sew line, all made in Canada.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, his whole thing is just like very, very much like all made in Canada. Like I think he imports some fabrics and stuff like that from
Yeah.
Japan, but like all made here.
I had a friend of mine, he put me on Bather, and he's like, dude, I have like 5-8 pairs of these.
Yeah, dude. It's
And I was
great.
like, okay, come on. Okay. And he's like, dude, go get one. And I got a suit, and I was like, oh wow, okay, this is actually
he's
different.
tapped into something good because like we've been carrying him since we first launched the store, like our first year in business. So that was about, I don't know, I can't remember how many years ago. It was
you get 10 years?
over 10 years ago,
Nice.
well over 10. So we picked
yeah.
him up, and we've been just killing it with him ever since, man. Like he's just like you said, he kind of tapped into something.
Yeah.
Like you go to a sauna in Toronto, and you just look around, every dude is wearing Bather shirts.
100%. Dude, you cannot argue with the fit.
Yeah,
like
no,
the
it's perfect.
fit, it has the tech that you need in a bathing suit in terms of like the inner liner, and it's got
It's great.
pockets. So
Yeah.
but the fit is pristine. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
no,
it
it's
also
great.
says a lot too, because like their flagship store, you can almost throw a rock at from Gray.
I know it's Dufferin and
Uh,
Queen.
yeah.
just
Yeah.
north
Yeah.
of Queen. And so like the fact that you have those two in proximity together and people are still going to buy in both locations says a lot about your brand.
He does. I think he does limited run too, right? It's like a couple sizes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's
So
it's
do
great.
you know how we met originally?
I don't believe so.
Do you want to tell it or do you want me to tell it?
Your memory's probably sharper than mine.
Yeah. So I went into the store a bunch of times and we connected, and he reached out via DM randomly and was like, hey, I am recently sober and I want to start boxing. Is it cool if I come by? And then we started doing lessons at the boxing gym.
Sweet.
And then
Yeah,
became
that's right.
homies. And it just so worked out that we with the agency or what I was doing before with the old agency, we were in the same realm. And so we just became friends. But it was cool because he made a decision at, how old were you when you decided that you were going to do that?
Do which? The sober thing?
Yeah.
35. Yeah, 35.
That he was just going to go cold turkey and not touch it anymore. And so it's funny because Connor and I have two very different opinions on how this should be done. And it's interesting because my perspective is black and white.
Okay.
You're either on or you're off.
Right.
So
One or-
you
a
are
one or a
going
zero.
to drink
Yeah.
or you are not.
Right.
And your whole life needs to revolve around these decisions that you make.
Okay, yes.
Right. So healthy living, this and that.
Yep.
And it was funny because we were actually talking about this the other day, and he's like, yeah, but I don't think people can do that. So you almost got to fit, like there needs to be a little bit of sliding room in there.
Okay, so
where-
you're like less of a 1 or a 0, black or white. More.
So you're like, we have different opinions. I don't really have an opinion on, I think, how it should or should not be done. I think more so for me, it's like, because I've been around it like I worked in nightclubs.
right.
So a lot of my relationships, spawned from being around alcohol. And I think it's more for me that I understand how difficult it can be. And maybe that's a justification. Like I won't argue the fact that it's like for me, dude, I really enjoy drinking at times.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So do I know that in a lot of ways, when I'm in stints of sobriety, like I'm more consistent, I'm more articulate, like I understand those things for sure. But there's also, I think, an enjoyment factor where it's like, dude, like for example, the holidays are coming up, like drinking wine on the holidays with my family, like those types of things. So
Yeah,
you can tell I'm still in it with alcohol, like in the way that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My intake is greatly reduced, but I think that it's more. Someone has to be very ready to make the decision if they're
I
going to
think so.
go like off completely.
It's like quitting smoking. It's like one of those things that, you know, you either quit cold turkey or you try.
The difference I'd say with smoking is just like alcohol is so convenient. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
smoking, like you got to go outside, you smell like cigarettes. It's like alcohol. It's so easy. It's like, oh man, let's go grab.
There's no friction.
There's no friction.
There's no. It's all and
It's the opposite.
Exactly.
It's
It's
the
actually
opposite, yeah.
it's weirder if you don't drink, like socially.
A lot of places, dude. Like some family dinners and it's like I didn't even say that. So many relationships, at least in my life, at the age that I'm at, have been predicated upon alcohol. Like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of my friendships, it's like revolves around it. We met in this setting. How many times have we hung out without drinking? None. You know what I mean? It's like we're hanging out, you know, and I cherish a lot of those relationships. But you know, we talk about it. We've talked about it frequently. As you get older, I think you really start to feel and see the effects that alcohol has on your life. And it's like, you know, can you strike a balance? Maybe there's a fallacy there. Maybe you can't.
I think some people absolutely can, and I think that there's nothing. It's not for anybody to say what anybody else does. You just have to make a judgment call based on what works for you, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like, there's no way that I'm capable physically of having 2 glasses of wine. Like, it's not going to happen.
How long did it take you to figure
I'm
that
going to
out?
have 9 every single time.
Did you have a moment though that you were like, yo, this is enough?
Yeah, I did. I woke up. It was I woke up. I can't remember. I think I was 35, and I had like totally just blown something off the night before with work that I was supposed to get done, and it didn't get done. And, you know, as he should, my business partner was kind of just like, hey man, like what's going on here? And it was just like, I had no answer. I was just like, it didn't get done because because I went home and I smashed a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And then that same morning, you know, Winnie at the time I think was around 2, and she woke up like screaming, and I think I was just getting like these work messages, which was making me feel like I totally dropped the ball. And then I was getting increasingly irritated with like my daughter, who was like losing her mind, screaming, and, you know, just being a kid, just being like a toddler.
Sure.
Nothing out of the ordinary, but just like my wick to deal with all this stuff was just like, I just woke up and it was like all this stuff felt like was happening to me. Realistically, in reality, I did it to myself. But my wick was just already like burned out, and I woke up and I was just like, oh Jesus Christ, like I can't do this. I can't, like, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is too much. And
Good for you, though.
Yeah, I was actually like, I think that's like one of the few times in my adult life where I was just like, I like almost like shut down. I was just like, oh, like I was like the closest. I'm not like, I don't suffer really from a lot of panic attacks, but I think that may have been the closest I've ever had come to a panic attack.
Sure.
And so I was just like, all right, like that's it. And that was to answer your question. That was kind of like the thing where I was just like,
How long did it take before you were, I don't know, on the other side, so to speak?
Probably about 3 to 4 months. Like during the first like 3 to 4 months, I kept repeatedly almost like just going back to it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know, when you're a couple weeks in, you're like, no big deal.
Yeah.
Go have a glass of wine. Because then you're not throwing away much. But once you get to like 3-4 months, you're like, you kind of start to like do some things that you're used to doing only with alcohol.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, like I can't go to a basketball game and not drink. But you just try it. I can't have a birthday and like not go out for like, you just like the first basketball game, the first birthday, the first like whatever, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They all kind of feel weird. And then after you do it once, you're just like, oh fuck it.
You wake up the next day and you feel good.
Oh, dude, there is the best thing in the world, man. Just waking up early. I don't feel like I don't have like wine lips, and I'm not like cursing myself from the night before, and I'm not like, it's just like it's the easiest trade-off for me to make, because I'm just the pros so vastly outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
And there are trade-offs, like for sure. Like I think anyone who tells you that it's all just pluses is probably lying, because objectively drinking is fun, and it's nice to go out with your friends, and it's nice to like it feels great in the moment. But for me, it's just like the hangovers were getting worse as I was getting older, and just again, kind of like we were talking about before, just felt like I was continuously dropping the ball. Not fun to have to like look at that guy in the mirror and be like, yeah, you fucked up again.
Yeah, it's good advice what you said too. I think where it's the mental hurdle of like, I can be in these certain social settings without needing to drink.
Yeah,
I've never even like that's a huge factor. Like even just me thinking about it as someone who still does drink, albeit more sparingly now. Like there's just certain things where it's synonymous, and
Totally, man.
it doesn't need to be,
but your brain kind of starts to associate things that go together. Like, so for me, I was just like, even like the first time I was like, oh man, I can't have a steak without red wine. Like, this is crazy. And like, you kind of start to like pull these things together, and you have to like detangle them and separate them. And it takes a while.
Well, even we were talking about going to Paris.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you go on this work trip to go to Fashion Week, you're being wined and dined by brands.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
And so
it's tough.
And what's interesting is like from my perspective, because I've been like, I haven't drank for so long that when brands want to go out and we go out, like two things I know for sure. I know I'm going to be the first one leaving.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the second thing is that I also know I'm probably going to be the only one sober.
Yep.
So, and those two things, when you talk about the things that are synonymous with drinking, with not drinking, those two things, that is what is going to happen.
Is there a lot of like drinking in fashion culture? Is that
Dude,
yeah?
it's nonstop.
Really?
Well, the shows like themselves usually have alcohol, and like everyone's trying to relax. You want to do your buying. It's like, I get it. You kind of you want to create an atmosphere of just like lowering your guard a little bit. But at the same time, it's like, man, like, it can be nonstop sometimes during the work travel. So that is a bit of a skill set in itself. I will say, when we used to go 10 years ago to these shows, it was way more prevalent. Now I'm starting to notice, just like organically, like new generation of people coming up, younger people coming up, drinking way less, and there's a lot less of a social focus on it, just naturally. I don't know if that's because of like health information coming out or what, but it seems to be that's sort of like the way it's sort of shifting, at least from my perspective.
Drinking culture with young people is falling off a cliff.
It's crazy.
In North America, for sure.
Yes.
I don't know if Europe is the same, but I think the one big thing about the fashion side in Europe as well is that like tech is a thing now. And so when you look at technical garments, like if you're going to, like what are some of the brands that you have that are technical garments? Like Gramici.
You could look at like Snow Peak, Gramici. Yeah.
So all those guys, they're all involved in athletics at some
That's
piece.
true.
So like a lot of them are drinking less anyways because the value of the brand is behind that as well.
Yeah.
Flip side of that coin though is Paris Fashion Week is notorious for having celebrities there. So if your booth has celebrities there, if whoever wants to get loaded, they get loaded. Like, it is what it is. And so I think when I look at when Saucony took over Paris Fashion Week, West Side Gun, J Tips, all those guys were out there. And
the Henny's out.
Yeah, dude. Like, and that's it's not to say that it was happening at the Saucony events.
Yeah.
But afterwards you can bet your ass that they're going out and they're partying, and that's fine. And that's part of the culture that we've created behind whether it's fashion or rap or professional sports or whatever. Because there's all walks of life at these shows.
For sure. I
think the challenge with that is like, again, going back to almost high school, is like figuring out where you slot yourself in there. Like, who am I in Fashion Week? You know what I mean? Do I have to keep up with these guys? Do I have to put on a certain face to impress X celebrity or X brand? You know what I mean? And I think that going back to many conversations that we've had before, it's like, if you can just stay true to yourself in those scenarios and understand that you don't have to do these things to impress anyone, then you're all right. But to go back to you, like, you hit this moment where even living in that chaotic state where you're going to Fashion Week twice a year, you're coming back, you have a whole family, like, alcohol is for a lot of people a very relaxing thing. I think people drink, they'll have a beer to relax, they'll have a glass of wine to relax. So for you to understand all that and then make a complete shift in lifestyle says a lot. you did it through the athletic side of things as well. So you started training more. You said so I don't remember you ever being bigger. You said you lost a ton of weight.
Yeah. I lost about 25, almost 30 pounds.
So, and not a big dude.
No.
So-
I'm not naturally
Just
a
from
big
like
dude.
cutting the wine calories.
That's just from cutting the wine calories. And then around the time that I stopped drinking, I started hanging out with this dude. He was like, so it's like,
go on a run. Let's go on a bike ride.
he's like, go for a fucking run. And he's like, okay, well, you're going to hit the bag, go for a run and lift weights. And so it's like kind of doing all this stuff. And like, there's something to be said for like, oftentimes people who stop drinking will find that they need something to replace it with.
For sure.
So if you just take it away, there's now like a void and you might start looking for something else that's a bit self-destructive. So one of the most commonly recommended things to do is just to find something else. So for me, that was training with him for boxing, and just like he got me into like running and stuff like that. And like, so that it all kind of
This
like
guy can run.
piggybacked off of,
Yeah, he's good. He I think you should do the marathon next year.
yeah. Oh shoot. Okay. Well,
So-
maybe.
Listen.
We're
How about
gonna
this?
say
How
it
about
on
this?
camera.
So
Shit.
Alicia's gonna do the half.
Yeah.
Why don't you do the half as well?
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds terrifying.
On the record.
Okay, on the record. We'll do it.
So here's the thing: is that this can be an attainable goal for you, and you're not trying to win the half.
No.
But if you do it and have that pillar of success, then you piggyback off that, and maybe you do the spring one.
This is
the-
this is exactly it. This is a lot of the
Here's
stuff.
Ross
This is
doing his Ross thing.
It's true though, but yes, I fully agree with you. And this is a lot of the stuff that you're talking about right now is exactly kind of what he was helping me with when I first started training with him.
Yeah.
Which is just sort of getting into something else.
You know what? Like when you guys talk about it, and I don't run, but I definitely train, and the being able to have a social dynamic or a community dynamic around something that isn't getting fucked up.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
Like going to the gym, going to hit the bag,
Yeah.
you get time with other people and there's a common focus, but it's not like we're going to get inebriated together.
Yes,
you
and
know?
I think that a lot of people have kind of started to tune into that, which is why you have the prevalence of a million different, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I think it's a great thing, but you have a million different run clubs, you have a million different, like sauna is now like a new social club. You
Yep.
have all this stuff and it's focused
like
around
wellness.
it's wellness and stuff. And I know that it's kind of a overused term, but it's true. It's like all this stuff kind of like leads you to a better place as opposed to a slow path of self-destruction.
Yeah. Well, then we're seeing it. We're talking about younger, like how the drinking habits of younger people. It's like falling off a cliff. Well, this is where the whole sober curious. You guys see the coffee parties and all this?
Yeah, the coffee parties.
Dude,
Yeah,
they're
crazy.
they're like in demand.
I
Like,
know.
There's like, they sell
crazy.
out of tickets and stuff. It's crazy.
Well,
But that's how hungry people are for an opportunity to be around other people.
It's wild,
It's
man.
crazy.
Community. The people are really hungry for community.
Yeah.
And in a way that like it doesn't lead you to a dark place.
Yeah.
In someone's kitchen at 5 a.m. having a heart-to-heart conversation. So if you want
We
to
were
do a
just-
coffee party, then do that.
Yeah.
I think for me, the gravitation to those things is always unique because people fiend this like needing to belong or needing to label. And so, and we were talking about this earlier about like whether you call yourself, oh, are you straight edge? Are you this or that? And I think that like I've never felt the need to latch on to a term of what I am. You know what I mean? I'm Ross, I'm a fighter. But that label will change eventually. And I think that one of the challenges that I have with all of these things is that sometimes my fear is that people do these things to label them as X, right? So I'm now a runner, I'm now a fighter, I play pickleball and I'm a pickleball player, but now what happens if you get injured or what happens if you cannot do that thing anymore? My fear is that the void that's created just helps you roll back into the old way.
Yeah.
And I think that when people can define themselves simply as themselves, it becomes easier because you know me, like I'm the first guy to say I'm not a runner. Like I'm not a runner. I love to fucking run.
Yeah.
I can do it really well. I can do it really far, but I'm not a runner. You know what I mean? And I don't think the definition of being like, I don't want to be a runner. I want to be me and I like to run.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know
but
what I
at the
mean?
same time though, how like on the self-identity thing, because I think we're social creatures. So
Sure.
like a lot of our perceived value, like to ourselves, I feel like is wrapped up in however we identify. Right. And like, so for you, I find like you're definitely a fighter, you know what I mean? And I feel like
Sure.
there's that,
But I'm also not afraid for that label to change when it does.
good.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think
That's
that's a
great.
big piece of that is that like my DNA isn't intertwined. I think being a fighter is intertwined in being in my DNA.
Yeah.
But it is not my DNA. You know what I mean? I also need to be an entrepreneur to provide a life for my wife and my dog and hopefully one day a kid. I need to be, you know, an interesting person for this platform. I need to be a good friend for people like you guys. Like I need to do all of those things. And I think I'm a collective of different things, right?
Yeah.
And I think that people, when they become, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, what happens if your business fails?
Right.
I'm a runner. Well, what happens if you blow your Achilles out?
You're right. You don't
That's
want to
the
wrap
risk.
too much of yourself up in
Yeah.
a label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then I think you see it a lot with athletes in retirement or even just
man,
people
yeah.
retiring. Like I've seen it with my own family where
Sure.
it's like, you know, people who have long corporate careers or whatever. And then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that period is over. This is where you see people working like well into their later life when they don't need to, because I
Right.
think it's something that they are synonymous with. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the how adaptable can we be in life?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So for you now that you've done the sober thing for a long time, what are your favorite brands going into the store for spring coming in?
For coming into the shop for like this
Spring.
upcoming.
Yeah, because you got some new shit coming in, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? The stuff that we have coming, like, we're really, really lucky in that we have seen some really, like, truly incredible things from some of the central pillar brands
Right.
that we've been carrying forever.
Yeah.
And so we do always focus on bringing in some like fresh blood and some new stuff. Some of the stuff that we've been seeing just from our kind of like central pillar brands is like absolutely amazing.
Sick.
So, you know, like stuff we have always from La Paz and Portuguese flannel are just like so dialed in and so perfect because it's such a well-oiled machine
Right.
at this point. And what I'm truly like really excited about in the last little while was just the fact that we were able to secure and pick up Drake's from London.
That's huge.
Which is just like, you know, if you go into the sort of like menswear kind of like nerd Reddit archives, like Drake's is like kind of top tier, kind of pinnacle, right? So we have some incredible stuff coming from them that I'm really excited about. And just kind of focusing on doing good business with the guys that we've been working with for a long time.
Sick.
Yeah.
What are your favorite brands these days, sir?
I'm an old t-shirt and work pants guy, dude.
Yeah.
My favorite brands are whatever band I can buy a t-shirt from their merch booth. But
Hell yeah.
I do need I recently got a tailor-made suit for my
Ooh.
wedding, actually. Because this guy, his name's Rich. He has a company called Farihana. Super great, dude. Shout out Rich.
Talk about looking handsome in a suit. This
Dude,
guy right here.
I realized through that process, I've never had a pair of pants that actually fit me before, like ever in
Really?
my whole life.
Well,
Dude,
yeah,
I put
but
those
you-
pants.
everything's too
Your
short.
legs are so
I just
goddamn
am
long.
dude. I got big, thick. I'm awkward. I'm awkwardly built.
How tall are you, for the record?
I'm 6'7".
6'7".
Yeah.
And you're how much leg?
I'm mostly
2/3?
leg.
2/3
Yeah,
leg.
yeah. I mean, my inseam is like 35 inches. So I
crazy.
feel like for a guy my height, it's not like preposterous. But
Bro, you're
I-
wearing like 38
I can
Dickies
wear
and
a
they're short.
large. I can wear like a large shirt. But anyway,
Yeah.
I got fitted for pants. I went in there and I put them on. I was like, oh my god, this is how pants are supposed to
This
fit.
is it.
Yeah.
This is how they're supposed
Because
to.
everything's just so it's like too tight in the wrong
Yo, he
places.
got an
and-
HR Geiger inlay on the insert of the suit. That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
like a Geiger custom. Yeah,
Oh my
Geiger
god,
shit.
it looks so good.
Yeah,
damn.
Like his wedding was fun because it was like we all dressed up real nice. Everybody looked real good. His wife's aunt called me gorgeous, which was kind of funny.
You got called
Nice.
gorgeous.
Yeah, that was funny. My wife was like, "Oh fuck, here we go."
Here we go. That's amazing.
Yeah, the brand. But for me, brands like I often can't wear them because the fit. But like I've always loved like Mastermind Japan, Neighborhood,
great
like
stuff.
those types of brands.
Yeah.
Just like the street. I like technical streetwear. I don't wear a lot of it because
Yeah.
mostly it's Japanese and it.
Well, I was gonna say you seem to love the things that you can absolutely not wear.
yeah, dude. I remember. I'll never forget.
Japanese
You know,
sizing.
double taps.
Yeah, double taps is the
Yeah.
best,
Bro, like I got
There's no way. There's no way
I
you
got a
can wear
double taps
anything.
hoodie, double extra large, and like the dude, it was the arms went to like midway
It's
through
like a
my forearm.
small
Yeah.
It was the
US.
sickest thing ever, dude.
But
It had
there's no
all these
chance.
cool pockets on and stuff, and then I got it, and I was like, oh my god, I look ridiculous.
You can never
wearing
go to
this.
Japan. They're just gonna
No.
laugh you out of every
Well, I think
store.
I was told that if I do, people will be like, oh, like
that part will be great.
Yeah,
You just can't buy clothes.
I guess no, definitely not. I can't buy records though.
Yes.
And I've heard.
Yo, have you heard
I've heard
about
you
this
find
Ja-
some great stuff just picking around there.
Have you heard about
Definitely.
this Japanese guy? He does what's that tech? Boiler rooms.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's a boiler room DJ.
Yeah.
And he started because I think he was diagnosed with cancer, and then he overcame it, and he was older. And so he's like, fuck it, I'm going to dedicate my life to being a DJ.
Wow.
And now he's got a
Wow.
huge following in Japan. It's like one of the
That's
coolest
wild.
stories because he's like, I'm going for it. And he went for it, and it's so good.
We gotta find out who that is. Like Boiler Room has put so many people on. It's actually crazy. Like just like what they've been
The
doing. 'Cause
only group that I know
pretty sure
that,
Fred again came from a Boiler Room, right?
I don't
Like,
know who that is, but I know the only one that I know is Chase and Status.
they were pre Boiler Room though.
Were they?
Yo, yeah.
Damn.
Chasing Status is there. That's like quintessential drum and bass.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I find I love, like, I look at objectively at like amazing clothing, and I'm like, this is so cool the way it's put together. Like, I love like vests with lots of pop, and I'm like, I could never.
Yo, imagine
pull it
Connor
off.
wearing those balloon pants that you just brought in.
Dude, there's no
They'd be
no
capris
size
on me,
There's-
first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they would just look insane because they're so big and they fit like a balloon. So they go wide in the mid knee and then
Parachute.
come down.
Yeah.
So even if they fit, it would just, you look like one of those fucking floppy wind guys.
I'm just getting used to like the looser leg on pants. It's like that's a new thing for me. I think it
Yeah.
always was like, get it. Yeah. Were you a sneaker guy?
Big
Still is a sneaker guy.
Nike SB?
Notice
yes,
his shoes.
Yes, I love, man. Like
I saw
that was it.
Nike SB.
Well, when I was in high school, I came up on those like pink boxes
Yeah.
and just getting so excited.
Yeah.
When those things.
What was your?
came
Do you have
out.
like a favorite pair of SBs?
There was a few that I really kind of gravitated towards. I remember lining up at Goodfoot for the De La Soul lows,
Oh.
which I was like so excited about, man.
Yeah.
Those things were just incredible.
The lows are sweet. The high is like one of my favorite shoes of all time.
The high is incredible. I never got my
Green
hands on
elephant,
that.
I
but-
know.
What's your favorite
That's-
SB then?
The MF Dooms. Dooms are my
That you
favorite.
have a pair
I have
of.
a pair, dead stock in my size. I had two pairs back in the day, and I sold both for if I took it. It was crazy, and then I had to buy a pair back. Shout out Jaron at Parlor 23 for getting me a dead stock 13. But pink boxes,
Yeah.
Shanghai 2s. Remember that shoe?
Ooh, yes, 100%.
They're
yes,
like brown and
Beautiful.
tan, and then but just like the details on those shoes, like pink boxes and black boxes. Basically every single shoe that
It was incredible.
they were unbelievable.
They were on a
So
run.
good.
and silver boxes too, but I'd never had a
Yeah.
pair.
I never had a pair either. No,
That was, like, slightly
those
before.
were kind of came like right before I started getting into it.
Yeah.
I remember at Hustler when we first got the Lucky Cats.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, dude,
Like
yeah,
those
were
were
cool.
the mid, and then there's a low.
Yeah,
And I
mid low
was
and,
like,
a high. Those,
or
that's
and
an
a high,
amazing
yeah,
pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those and then the bears, the bear pack.
Oh wait,
The Papa
the
Bear,
fuzzy,
Baby Bear.
the fuzzy
Yeah,
bear?
yeah. Those are like my two because they did a low, a mid, and a high in
Yes.
both of those.
Yeah.
And like but the Money Cats that's like one of the best. Jaron Parlor 23 has a bunch of them.
SB is
I'm
the
sitting in
only
shop.
pair of shoes that I would ever wear a mid in.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
still have a pair of the November Rain Motley
Oh.
Crue.
Do you really?
Mids.
With the roses on the
Yeah.
tongue? Oh man, that shoe's incredible.
I skated them.
Yeah. That colorway was amazing. Is there patent on that shoe?
Black, gray, red, swoosh.
Or is that a different shoe I'm thinking with?
I
Like,
don't-
that might be
patent leather tongue.
patent leather
Oh.
tongue?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
And the toe
I love
box,
the,
I think.
the graphic on that shoe is sweet. And
With
then
the
they
chick's
also
face.
did no, it wasn't Motley Crue. Was it Dr. Feelgood's? The green shoe, the red swoosh.
No. Damn.
I don't
They had the
remember those.
best, dude. Appetite for Destructions. They had so many good music influenced
Yeah.
sneakers. Like
I think when they
SB.
first started out, they were definitely the thing. And then, like, I remember before I started working with Saucony, the last pair of Dunks that I got were the Orange Lobsters.
Yeah. They
He
changed
came to
they
my
changed-
house and was like, "You have these shoes? How can you have these shoes and work for Saucony?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
They changed them though. Like they
tweaked it
the
a little bit,
older
yeah.
Nike SBs, like the simplicity of the sole, they made them more of a technical skateboard shoe.
So they were
Yes.
they were like so I have two pairs of the generation from like the November rain, and they're significantly less beefy than the new ones. The new ones are a lot beefier.
Dude, they're slimmed down. They're
Yeah.
they're way more stiff. They're probably like a far better performance skateboard shoe. But the materials, and it's like a recliner for your
It's like a
foot.
big plush recliner.
Oh, dude, the tongue- some of the tongues.
overstuffed tongue.
Dude, you remember like the Josh Kalis DCs?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's all back.
Yes. When
They're
you look
doing them-
down, it just looked like you were wearing a tissue
Yeah.
box
Or like
on your
the
feet.
D3.
Osiris D3,
Osiris.
yeah. Dude came back too. Like they're dropping them now.
Yeah, I'm
People
pretty
wearing
sure-
them.
I want Muska to start doing his sky tops again.
I
And
think
like,
he is.
So he's doing like he did a shoe he's doing the S shoes.
Yeah, okay.
So he's doing the S shoes, but then
Dunking them in paint, doing all the crazy stuff.
I want him to bring back that sky top. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I think one of the first ones that ever released was silver
I have
and gold.
it. I have those shoes
damn.
at my house right now.
I
on.
want
Silver super. I have silver super sky tops in the white
And
box
gold?
at my.
Ooh.
I don't
And
have
gold?
no the gold. They did a gold and a silver pair, and then they did like a hybrid pair that was
That
gold
was the
and-
pair.
Yeah,
That was the pair.
I have all silver joints.
So you know what bummed me out is I'm a 7.5. They only started at 8.
Oof.
And so it was like the one shoe that I could not get.
Yeah, sky tops were like Supra was a big deal.
And then they got
Was
put
it
in.
Eric Ellington? Did he start that brand?
He's a part of it.
Yeah.
And now, so
And he-
shout out Eric Ellington, also a sober dude coming from the piss drunks to now being completely sober, having a family, doing his thing.
Yeah.
He now has, what's his shoe company called? He's got another one. It's a loafer brand.
Oh yeah, dude. Human engineering,
Human recreational
human
services.
recreation services. You said I tried to get a pair for my wedding, but
Dude, they
I couldn't get them
are
a size.
they're
They're really
fire.
Nice. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn.
like
I'm surprised you haven't seen these. You should.
No.
You gotta check
dude,
them
the
out.
shoe. Okay, so a loafer, like a suit shoe.
Yeah.
Split down the middle from toe to heel.
Okay.
One side is a pony fur like tiger print.
Oh, crazy.
And the other side's snake skin.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they're
yeah.
sick. And
Like-
then the loafers with the backless loafers are crazy.
That guy has good taste.
yeah.
Like
I didn't
it-
know he what was on the sober train as well, eh?
Yeah.
You're seeing it a lot of these skaters, eh?
The
Like
only
Brandon
one,
Novak
the
and-
only one that is still
Oh, I know.
fucked
Dustin
up all the
Dahl.
time is Dolan.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out to that guy because he's happy. He's
Yeah.
doing his thing. But like all the other dudes, Reynolds, like that entire piss drunk crew that's still alive, they're all sober.
There's a great conversation with
Interesting.
Reynolds about it. He's pretty open about his
Yeah.
experience with it and just how it.
Dude, I
affected
remember
him.
watching
Yeah,
The
yeah.
End. Did you ever see that video?
Which
Birdhouse, The End.
I must have
Like way back in the day, Heath Pritchard,
pre Flip
Reynolds.
Story or
Oh, yeah, years.
oh maybe not then actually I don't
yeah.
know.
Like this was an old, like Tony Hawk was in the video.
Yeah.
He had a fucking vert part.
Sick.
And I remember watching that video and idolizing these guys. And then I actually remember being young and being let down that they were this piss drunk crew.
Oh, man.
Because I'm like, oh man, like they're kind of losers.
Right. Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but man, I like Flip Sorry, Ali Boulala, and those like which ended. There was tragic event,
Yeah.
alcohol related. But I've like, not that I thought it was cool, but that whole rock star skateboarding where those dudes would, who is it, Jim Greco?
Oh, dude, Ellington
Yeah.
was like one of my favorite.
He looked like he's walking the runway, and then he's like,
I know.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Well,
Crazy.
thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
This is fun.
One more thing.
Done.
One thing before we sign off,
Yes,
because I
yes.
do want to ask, because I feel like it's interesting talking to you both about just what it's like retailing brands, finding brands. If you had maybe like one piece of advice to sign off with for someone who is starting a brand or who's interested in entering the fashion world in some capacity, what would the wise words be?
The only thing that comes to mind right now that I think was passed on to me by somebody else when I was first getting started is to take your time with it and really focus on gathering as much information while working for somebody else as you can in that field. So if you want to open your own restaurant and just go to work for somebody else, learn as much as you can under them as possible. Don't assume that you know everything. And for me, that was just in my world, in my industry, that was working at some of the best shops possible and just taking it almost like an education. And I took, a lot of very valuable information that I learned at these places and used it to sort of as a Kickstarter for what I'm doing now. And second point to that, which kind of ties into the first, is don't assume that you ever know everything. And I'm still, learning. I have the shop, but I'm still learning new stuff as much as I can, reading books and just kind of practicing on being curious as much as possible. So yeah, but to answer your question, I think that learning as much as you can while you're being paid to work for somebody else, that's a great place to start.
Wicked.
Yeah.
I think too, to piggyback off that, like, he still asks me shit for what's coming down the pipe. Like, we're talking, so we did my sell-in meeting for autumn 26 2 weeks ago. You owe me an order.
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
And we're talking about the direction the brand's going, where things are moving, because his job is to curate a selection for the store. My job as an agent is to curate the selection that is going to piggyback off everything in the store. Because I come from a place that it was more sports. The world was sports, so it's more volume. I firmly believe that the way that you become a good sales agent is that you understand the business, but you develop the relationship that you work with the retailer, and everything that you do for them needs to be a part of the global shop. So his selection is very different than every other selection that I put together, because my shoes that I put on him from Saucony need to work with Wax, La Paz, Drake's, Portuguese flannel, all the stuff that he has in the store, Bather. So for me, it's not about selling units. It's about selling the culture of the brand and the styles in the store. If he only buys one shoe, that's fine, because if he sells out of that shoe, that says a lot more about me as an agent. Now, I also eat what I kill. So I need to try to add volume to that. But if it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to. So I think for anybody that wants to get into being an agent, it's not about every penny all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Been a long game.
Long game. I think that's
We've worked together now for 4 seasons, and he just brought in the engineered garments shoe. And it's funny because we had this conversation with the engineered garments shoe, is that engineered garments has a cult following, but it's also a shoe that if you do a bunch of sizes in it, people that buy that brand all the time will recognize it in his store if they're traveling, right? Because engineered garments is
it's good shit.
Yeah.
It's great.
Beautiful.
And but their following are the type of people that will show up at the store. I did this at your store. Remember that young kid?
That's true.
He was putting together an outfit, and I'm like, yo, he had some like raggedy ass Addies on or something like that. I'm like, yo, bro, you need to get some sneakers on those feet. Like, the whole outfit's perfect, but you need some sneakers. He's like, well, what do you recommend? And I'm like, well, what makes you feel good? And he's like, oh, I don't really know.
Crocs.
And I'm like, well, I mean, the Addies that were on his feet weren't far off that. But like, so I threw him this shoe, and like the look on his face was the reason why I do this shit, is because he was like, oh, I'm complete.
Yeah,
like I did.
He actually did leave with those shoes, and he was so stoked.
I love that.
And it was just Ross just happened to pop in, but he popped in at the exact right time, and
it's a true agent right there.
Right? He can't turn it off, and it's easy to do when you really do love the product.
Yeah.
Well, when he wins, I win.
Yeah.
When the consumer wins, we all win.
100%.
And so for me, it goes back to even what this podcast is all about. It's like, this is for the people. I don't do this for myself. I do this to help bring awareness to people. If we can make one person change for the better, whether it's with your story, someone else's story.
It all starts with the sneakers, baby.
It is. That's it. Just don't drink and buy sneakers instead. That's what we established tonight, and that's all that you really need to do.
No, but I like the undercurrent of, we talked a lot about self-identity, and I do think fashion is expression. Having a moment like that is nice to help someone be like, hey, this is a product that you can appreciate, but also to help them, feel comfortable or enjoy something like that is great. But man, it's been great cutting it up.
Yes, sir.
Any last words? Any sign off?
Thank you guys for having me. This is my first time doing this. This is great.
You're natural.
For sure. This was wonderful. No,
You'll be back for sure.
100%. Absolutely. This was awesome, guys. Thank you.
Right after the marathon that you just said.
Right. After we wrap that up.
Shout out Gray. Shout out Park and Province. Go check it out. Bather, all the good stuff that we talked about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Thank you for coming through.
Thank you, guys.